Hi, welcome. Now I'm going to show you how to calculate weighted average. Okay, so we have a function called SumProduct. I'm going to use that SumProduct function to calculate weighted average. Okay, what is weighted average and how to calculate that one? Okay, let's see. I will show you the example here. Okay, it's a students worksheet. Okay, in students worksheet I have about 6 students. Okay, and each student's marks in internal exam 1, practicals 1, internal exam 2, practicals 2, semester exam and semester practicals. So each exam we have different marks scored by a particular student. Similarly for 6 students marks. Okay, now how we are going to calculate the marks here? Usually we use average function to get the average of all these marks. Will give you average marks scored by a particular student. Average. Okay, this is 76.66. okay, but here it is not straightforward just taking an average. Instead, each exam also have a weightage. That means internal exam 1 have only 20% weightage on the calculation of the marks. Okay, similarly practicals 1 have only 5% weightage. Internal exam 2 20% weightage and practicals 2 have 5%. Semester exam have 40% of weightage and the semester practicals have only 10%. Okay, this way the average marks scored here has to be weighted and it must be done the average. So it is a weighted average marks. Okay, so it is not just putting average on these marks. Before getting the average, we need to also apply the weightage on the marks, then calculate the average. This is the average weighted average. Okay, fine. Now we also have a thing here that how much is the weightage. The overall weightage is supposed to be 100, but the example what I am going to show is the formula which I am going to show is going to can be used for those having more than 100 weightage also. It doesn't matter, but actually if you keep it 100, then you can straight away multiply by 20 divided by 100. If you know the weighted average formulas, you know they keep this one as 100 and make it simple. But here, since we are calculating here using a sum product method, I'm going to show you the weightage, not necessarily 100. Still the formula is working. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate the weighted average for a particular student here. How I'm going to do it? I'm going to multiply these marks with the weightage. Okay, every mark with the weightage, the respective weightages. Then I am going to divide by sum of the weightages. So this is the one making that even though the sum of weightage is more than 100, it won't affect our formula because we are actually adding and dividing by the sum of weightages in the denominator part. Okay, so I just calculate. For this I am going to use the function called SumProduct. Okay, what is this function is doing? This function gets input as list of data and multiplying with the second list, that is the array 1 with the array 2. For our case, the first array 1 is the mocks, and I am going to, this is the first list, and again I am going to multiply that one with the second one. This is the second array. If you use this function on these two arrays, what it is doing, it is automatically multiplies the corresponding values, respective values, and then give us the sum, overall sum. Okay, so I just put equal to, you see 7220, which is nothing but 20 into 90, or in other words 90 into 20, 70 into 5, 75 into 20, 90 into 5, 59 into 40, 76 into 10. If you are not using this formula, what you need to do is you must do one by one. Sum of this 90 into this cell into this one, C3 into B3 plus 70 C4 into B4, C5 into B5. So this one simplifies simply that it just multiplying the corresponding values automatically. So it gives the sum of the weightage into the mark. Now what we need to do, we need to also in the formula divide this by the sum of the weightages. In this case is 100, but what I am going to do is I straight away, I am not hard coding that one, I am just introducing some function here, and I am just adding all the weightages. Okay, this is the weighted average for Alan, the first student. Okay, what I did, I used the formula SumProduct to product these two values, marks and weightages, and at the same time sum it up. So I summed up everything, then I am dividing that by the sum of the weightages, which will give you the weighted average of list. Okay, for a given weightages. Okay, now I am going to do the same thing for Victoria also. Instead, I can simply move the drag and drop the function here, the formula here. But wait, is it correct? This is our weightages in B column, and our actual marks is in marks are in column C for the first student, and sum of the weightages which is B column. But when it comes to Victoria, our marks are in D column, but our weightages are not moving to C, it is constantly sitting on B column. But when you move the drag and auto complete the formulas, what it will do, it will move the arrays. You see here what it does, our marks are in D column just fine, but our weightages and sum of weightages is C column. Why it has to be in B column? Because the Excel automatically changes when you move the position, relatively it is also moving the array positions, okay, used in the column. So what need to do is here marks, it has to be relatively move the next position, but the weightages is constant position, it is absolute position which is always on B column. It should not be moved. If that case, what we need to do, okay, before that what I will do, I will move to next autocomplete. Also you will see it is keep moving, now it is D column. So to stop this, then obviously it is the wrong calculation. So I give these tips here. Okay, how to stop this? Okay, then you decide which is the relative position. Marks has to be, when you calculate for Victoria, it has to be D column, but weightages always sit constant, which is on the B column. So you need to introduce dollar sign to tell the formula, that Excel formula, that hey, when I drag and drop the formulas to the next position, don't change this one. It is always absolute. Okay, absolute position. Okay, so for that I use $B $3. Similarly for B8 is $B $8. Okay, again sum is also $B $3 $B $8. Enter. Okay, now drag and see whether the values are $B. The weightage is marks, move it to D. This formula C3 C8 change to D3 D8, just fine, but the weightage part is not changed, it is absolute. Okay, now it is fine. So change 65 45 42 45 81 3 and Sora is 48 9. Okay, this is the way you can start calculating weighted averages. This example, I hope this example is clear and it will help you. This is also a sample for how to use the SumProduct function. Okay, hope this video is helpful to you, and see you on the next video. Bye.